Let's move into our next discussion now. Academic and non-academic activities have been grounded at the LAUTECH Akintola University of Technology of Bomosho for many months now.
Yeah, LAUTECH, jointly owned by the Oyo and Osun state governments, was founded 27 years ago, but students and staff have been at home for many months now due to the lack of funds and non-payment of the salary arrears of staff, which is said to be about 7 billion naira. Of course, we'll be looking at this as quickly as possible. Now, this issue of LAUTECH, it's amazing that this school has been around for all of 27 years. And according to the governor of Osun State, the real issue here is mismanagement and, of course, lack of transparency on the part of the management of the school. Of course, there were calls for audit and all of that, and the workers blocked it.
From the report we got, they want to be able, because they were home for some months, and then they pleaded with them, just come back, let us try to resolve this. And they came back after paying salaries for about 2-3 months, and then he went back to status quo again. But the point there is, the government is saying we need to go through all the nitty-gritty of how monies were spent so we can sanitize the system. But whether that is good enough is something else. Now, discussing this with us is the co-initiator, Fund LAUTECH Initiative, Shola Kolawole. Shola, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Now, from when we sit outside and listen to the stories or the news coming from LAUTECH, it's quite disappointing. But you have come up with an initiative to help fund the school. But give us the basics. How bad is the situation there?
Well, Mike, thank you. You see, as an alumnus of that university, it is pathetic. Particular for me, it will interest you that between 2003, 2004, 2005, incidentally, I was student union president. The university was rated the best state university in Nigeria for 3 years consecutively. It was rated the 5th best in the whole of the country. And when you look at the situation today, it is not just pathetic. It calls for deep, sober reflection. You see, the LAUTECH situation, the impasse, has a foundation that people are not really looking at. And that is why when we came up with our own initiative, we are not funding the university, so to speak. What we have come to do is an intervention. A situation that may go bad, that we want to, bring back on track. And in doing that, we have always argued that we should approach this situation clinically. We have to be very, very frank. Government right now is saying they want to conduct a forensic audit. 101%, we are in support. But you have workers who have not earned a dime in 9 months, going to 10 months now. And you have a school that has 34,000 students out on the streets, gates locked, structures dilapidating, and you want to do an audit. You see?
Okay, we'll come to that, but paint a picture for us as to what the real fundamental issue is. Because if you're speaking with the state, the two owners of this institution, they are looking at it from a different angle. They are saying it's mismanagement and lack of transparency on the part of the management. And then the school too says the real critical issue is the co-ownership structure. The school is owned by Osun and Oyo State. So what really is...
There are many dimensions to it.
Yes.
You see, there is the aspect of funding. The ownership, for me, is not even the issue. Because it used to be Oyo State University of Technology. It was the creation of Osun out of the old Oyo State that made it a joint asset. And if you are very conversant with the trend in that place, it has gone to the Supreme Court, the issue of ownership. So I don't want to belabor that issue. The federal government has universities. So what is difficult in 2 states? Owning a university. in a situation whereby you have workers who are from Osun, workers who are from Oyo. It's a good.
But won't it create a situation of let those ones fund
now,
while
the thing is that education is a social good. We should not bring a lot of politics into what should not be politicized. You understand? That university, as a matter of fact, when it was being set up, was being projected to become the regional university of technology for the Southwest. That was what was behind the minds of the initiators of that university. It had a foundation. So there's the issue of funding. There is the issue of mismanagement. Well, you said, because you see, for me, I'm looking at government and I'm saying, if you are talking about mismanagement, the governing council was a creation of the government. Every lecturer in LAUTECH is on the payroll of government. How can an employer or an employee be more powerful than his employer? I think there's something there we don't really understand. But for us as Fund LAUTECH, what we want to do is to say, let's come to the table. How do we reopen this university and take 34,000 students off the streets? Because they are dangerous. They are not ordinary students. LAUTECH is a university of technology. They are technologically oriented students. If they begin to play with funny ideas, we are in trouble.
All right. In this quest to raise funds or to try to negotiate or get funds for LAUTECH, what is the disposition of the state governments, the owners of the institution, to the idea and the issue of getting funds for LAUTECH?
We've not really had time to exchange ideas with them. But what we wanted to do was this. The unions are saying salaries or nothing. Government is saying audit or nothing. So we sat, the five of us, the initiator, Mr. Bayade Inka, he was also a former student union president. Then 3 of us on that group are former student union presidents. So we sat and we said, okay, ASU, SANU, NASU, and the joint, we call it Jack, they can get 3 months' salary. The bill is just 350 million per month. We are talking about 1 billion, thereabout. So as technology students, graduates, we said, let's do a crowdfunding thing. We'll pool the resources for those 3 months. Give the check to management, pay these guys. Let's open the door. Government, come and do your audit. So we are not taking sides. Our own is that this university must not go into extinction.
It has to run.
Because we know that if we continue to drag this, it is not going to be what we are saying
But
now.
don't you think there's a need for the alumnus to actually look into some of the claims by the state government that there is mismanagement going on as far as funding is concerned? Don't you? Because if you throw money at the school again and it's the same management that has to use the money for whatever you plan for it, it may just go the same way.
The question that comes to mind is who engaged the management?
In the first place.
In the first place.
Okay.
Now, but we are not even looking at that. You see, the total overhead expenditure of the university per annum is about 6.9 billion. The total IGR is just within the range of 2 billion. That is 25% of the total overhead expenditure is what they generate as IGR. The lazy way out of it is to just multiply or quadruple tuition. Then you arrive at 6.9 billion. But don't forget that LAUTECH is a community university. How many parents
can afford
earn an annual income?
So what is the tuition? What is the tuition now? 26,000 undergraduate, 70,000 tuition, as we hear. 2,000 part-time paying 120,000. 1,500 postgraduate paying 150,000.
Exactly.
Professional postgraduate 250,000. And the question is, how is it that a school that makes this kind of money is not even self-funding?
Like I told you, I said the total of what you have there is just about 2.3 billion. That is 25% of the total overhead expenditure of the university per annum. You see, the formula is this. This university generates 25% of everything. They get subventions of 75% from government. You see, like I told you, at the end of the day, we all have to come to the table, talk about the now of that university and the future.
All right, but talk to us about your fundraising so far.
Okay.
How successful has
it
been?
Yes, you see, we launched it on June 12th. We picked June 12th because it is emotional. It's an historic day. Yes, you
I like
recall,
the word emotional.
You see, the foundation of that university was through crowdfunding, but it wasn't called crowdfunding then. They called everybody and said we wanted to start a university. And that day in Ibadan, in 1989, they were able to raise about 19 million. The highest donor was Basharon Moshid Abiola, the late MKO. He gave 2,050,000 naira. And by virtue, I don't know how it happened, he was the first chancellor. He was made the first chancellor of the university. At several instances, when there were impasse on campus, Basharon Abiola would drive down to Ogbomoso to settle issues like this. He would take his checkbook at times on the back of the boot of his vehicle
and pay it off.
Don't let these students go home. So we chose that day to honor him.
Okay.
And so far, we are 31 days into the fundraising. We've gotten overwhelming responses.
Okay.
Our idea was just to get 1,000 naira from 1 million people to meet our mark in 90 days. That's the first timeline, 90 days. Now, we've had people giving us even 200 naira transfer, market women, more parents who feel they just need to be part of this, 500 naira. Then we have other people in society giving as much as 2 million naira and things like that. So we know that as we go, we still have 60 days to go. We know the momentum.
We hear some telcos are coming on board.
And you see, that is,
how is that?
We've not gotten alerts yet, so let's not talk about that.
All right, let's bring Foladele now to give us a response on social media on this now. Fola, good morning.
Morning,
nice to see you.
Good morning, Shala. Okay, let's do this quickly.
Good morning.
Alade Ridwan Olamide says, saving the future of LAUTECH students is the same as saving the future of Nigeria. # fund LAUTECH. Taufik Sanusi says, LAUTECH strike since 2015 is awfully uninspiring to the socio-economic growth of Nigeria, thanks to the 8th Senate under Bukola Saraki's leadership. Fadoyin Fumulayo says, I'm a medicine student from a Nigerian university, LAUTECH in bracket, and I'm tired of the stagnation in one level due to strike. And you know how bad it can be for medicine.
Yeah.
Official Any King says, if we youths, LAUTECH, spend 2 years at home in a semester, how do we partake in Nigeria's development? And the last one here, because of time, Johnson Jonathan says, on the note, we thank the Nigerian Senate for this time to intervene in LAUTECH crisis. This is what we call leadership. Please see it through. We hope they do see it through. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Fola. Thank you for the updates there. Lots of reaction from everyone. Well, we don't have all the time right now, but we look forward to following up what's going on in LAUTECH. But we must thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
And we hope the alerts come in.
Definitely. It's going to come. It's going to come. It's going to come.
All right. Thank you very much,
Thank you
Ola Kolawole,
very much
for
having
coming
me.
on the
Thank you.
program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah.